Good day, great day. This is For Another Day podcast, where we talk about the key components of a healthy Christian relationship with myself, Rick Zapf. Well, today I'm labeling this segment as ratcheting down dopamine, and I hope that you're going to stick through this because it has some really valuable information on dopamine and how it works in our bodies. Now, I'm not going to go too high level for you to understand what dopamine is, how it reacts, but one of the things that I wanted to relate to you is that this dopamine in our body, this is what gives us drive, what gives us motivation, what gives us that high feeling when you do something exciting. It works with adrenaline and within the body system. And so it is one of those, but today what's happening in our society is that this dopamine cycling or this ratcheting down is causing so many problems. And so today I wanted to really just give you a glimpse of what's happening in the system and maybe just a couple quick ways to try to fix that for yourself if you're noticing that that's happening. So I want you to imagine we have a graph. I wish this was almost like a PowerPoint or a slide presentation where you could truly see this. But let's just say that this graph, we're just going to use a baseline number. It's arbitrary. It's at 40, right? So this baseline that's here is where your dopamine levels usually run, right? So it might be a 39, it might be a 40, a 41, a 39, a 40, a 40, and it's just kind of trucking along. This is your day-to-day life when you have it. Now, when you do something excited or exciting, or even if you ate some chocolate, right? That dopamine spikes in our bodies. It's that feel-good feeling that we get, but it doesn't last very long. Matter of fact, it can come plummeting back down to earth, back down to that 40 pretty quickly. Even with drugs that might be in the system that helps it spike, it still can come plummeting down. The thing is, how our body regulates dopamine is it doesn't come back to that 40. It comes back to, let's say, 38. So just a little bit below where that baseline is. And then it resets. It's then your body seeking, what can I do to get a higher high or more of an excitement level that's there, right? Maybe a little bit of caffeine or some chocolate again, or some video games, or sex, or all those types of excitatory responses with the dopamine level. Once again, it spikes, comes back down, but it comes back down below. Once again, now we're at 36. So you see this ratcheting down effect that happens with this continually seeking out pleasure, continually seeking out this dopamine hit. So people that compulsively gamble, people that are addicted to drugs, people that keep playing video games day after day after day, and they start losing interest, they say it doesn't quite give them the same. Even when you talk to runners, they'll be like, I don't get that runner's high when I'm doing 4 miles anymore, so now I have to go 4.5. So you see the body there has this anticipatory setup that it's needing a little bit more. Now remember, an addiction is an unhealthy craving. So it's taking it over the top. It's over stimulating. It's over regulating. So in other words, we're having to do it more and more and more often. So as you can see, each time then we're resetting it. We're going just a little bit lower. Now we're at 34. Now we're at 32. Now we're at 30. Right? And even some of those couples that I've talked to over the years, that they're like, we tried this 30-day challenge for ourselves for intimacy and sex. Okay. We only made it to day 10, and now I'm at day 18 and I feel horrible. Well, once again, you had it each and every day, maybe multiple times a day, and now you've got nothing. Now that motivation that's there has truly been diminished. And so, what do we do about it? How do we go ahead and change this? First and foremost, I would say, look at those things that you seek out for pleasure. Now, it doesn't mean that we can't have pleasure, because that's a healthy part of seeking out our passions and pleasures. But here, this is about going ahead and putting more of a limiting factor on it, maybe. Maybe an intermittent schedule even to it. So it's not that I go and I work out 5 days a week. And on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, my body knows that it's going to come and it's going to happen. If you're able to alter that up, that your body doesn't know when and what to expect. Kind of like that first allure when you met your husband or wife and you were dating. You didn't quite know when you'd get the kiss, right? It was intermittent and unknown. And that's the part that helps reset that baseline. That's the part that helps bring it back into neural regulation. And that's where I really would want to encourage you to read more about this, to understand how our bodies work. It's not just, oh, I'm depressed and having a bad day, month, week, year, but it's truly about these internal chemical struggles that we're building within our culture and society today, because we just keep scrolling through reels and shorts seeking pleasure in the next, and it doesn't come, and it's the immediacy of it, and it's doing detrimental effects to us. We're not built this way. And if so many people out there are suffering from anxiety, depression, mental health, this is one of the aspects here where it's like, if we can figure out even the neurochemistry of this as we come to better understand ourselves, it's like, okay, I need to make change. And so if you're not sure how to do this, text me, send me a message, contact me at commandmentscoaching.com. You know, it's about changing your body. It's not just about changing your thinking processes, but change can happen today. Change can happen where it can make a difference for you. And when you're able to look back at that small amount of change that you've been able to accomplish over time, you've truly hiked the mountain here and have done the work. If you just take it one small step at a time. And I'm here, and like I always say, I'm here with my pom-poms. I'm here to cheer you on. I'm here to make sure that just even through this basic information that we're getting today, that you'll be able to figure out that change is possible for you. Improvement can happen, and change is happening even as we're speaking because you're adding new knowledge and basis to what you already had. So once again, think about how you're ratcheting down dopamine each and every day and change it. God love you all and have a wonderful week. Well, some of you might be wondering, what exactly does it take to find the right spouse? And how do I know if they're the right person? This is the part about coaching that I love the most. And I love to be able to come into it early on rather than later on, even after marriage, or in as late as needing counseling because of marital problems. Having to establish early on this best match or this best fit is so very important, but there's things that you need to be looking for. So when I go ahead and I use an assessment tool to be able to see how well y'all match up together as a couple, it gives me different areas to be able to focus on that we need to have more communication about. Maybe we need to search out some other options for y'all when it comes to what exactly it means to be a couple. So I have here 20 different ways to know that you've met that future spouse. So I thought I'd go through these and give y'all a little bit more information. So number one, you feel an instant connection with someone. Now this isn't just because your eyes meet across the bar and you notice each other. This is an instant connection. My wife, she said to me, when I shook your hand, I knew you were the one. Of course, I didn't know, but she said, I knew. So it's important to, one, trust your gut. It's important to trust your friends because usually they can see things that we can't, and sometimes love is blind. But it's that instant connection for that person that you've prayed for, that you're looking for that match from God. Number two, having a strong sense of comfort and ease when you're around them. It's not about putting on an air or changing for them or trying to change them, but it's truly about having a strong sense of comfort and ease when you're around them. This makes for the relationship just to seem to fit. Number three, you enjoy spending time together and you always have fun. So if you don't have common interests, that's a pretty good indicator. If you're an outside person and she's an inside person or vice versa, it might kind of hold true. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have other interests or hobbies that are different from one another, but you enjoy spending time together, planning things together, and having fun together. And that kind of plays into the next one, number four, you share common interests and values. One of the things when we're looking at how well you match up through like the assessment, through the SYMBIS assessment, is are there common interests and values? Do you have a common belief system for parenting, for your family history, for Christianity? It all plays a factor there. Number five, you can communicate open and honest with each other. Now, this one does usually take time, especially if you're coming out of relationships that have kind of scarred you. You might know what you want in this next relationship, but here it's, how open and honest can you communicate with them and knowing that they're going to be supportive in this process. That's probably the one that I hear the most when I used to do counseling was I didn't open up all the way because I didn't want to lose him or her. Number six, you respect the other's opinions and beliefs. But the first part is you understand and know what those other person's opinions and beliefs are. So if you just let it go silent and unsaid, that can be dangerous. So I encourage couples to not only communicate open and honestly, but share your opinions and beliefs about different situations. Maybe not on the first date, right? Don't talk religion and politics on the first date, but truly to open up about your opinions. Number 7, you support each other through the good and the bad. Now, this might seem like a no-brainer because it's just said in the vows that might be coming up for you if you're deciding to go ahead and get married. But it is true. Are you willing to go through the hard, the difficult, the sticky, along with the good, and truly make a difference here? Or is it just cut bait and move on? Number 8, you have a similar vision for a future together. So once again, we're going back to those common goals, but also it's like, what would you want it to look like 5 years down the road in marriage? What would you want it to look like 20 years down the road in marriage? What are those goals that you two together can work towards? Number 9, you feel like you can be yourself around them. Once again, not putting on any airs, but truly being yourself. Now, of course, you two are going to mature and grow together, some a little bit more so than the other, but it is truly being yourself. Those characteristics that you can give, those are what becomes treasured. Those are what becomes the wants for the relationship. So you have to be able to keep those. Number 10, you trust them completely. Now, we're not talking about a trust fall here, right? But we're truly talking about we can trust each other. Now, this is out of mutual respect for one another. And so you don't take advantage of that mutual respect, because that will damage the trust. So once again, when I've done counseling before in the past, it's one of, he or she cheated on me or numerous times or did this behind my back. It erodes out the sense of couple because of what one person did. Number 11, you're physically attracted to them. This is especially true at the beginning. There's that infatuation, almost that lust, love that can come into play, that excitement in the brain that just, it's like screaming fireworks. But also, yes, you can still see that 10 years, 20 years, 40 years into a marriage. Number 12, you have a deep sense of love and affection for them. And it's just not a love of kiss or sexual love. It's a true love of one another. Number 13, you feel like they bring out the best in you. If the other person is complementary in the relationship, and I usually like to use the image of the yin-yang symbol, right? Complementary is that it fits well with one another, but there's a little bit of black in the white, and there's a little bit of white in the black. And so here, if you're able to bring out the best, if your strengths can help in your partner's weaknesses, and vice versa, you two become a stronger complementary unit to be able to make it through the good and the bad. Let's see, number 14. You have a strong emotional connection. This can be emotional in terms of being able to share one another, being able to suffer together, being able to grow together. That emotional connection is so very important. Number 15, you feel like you complement one another well. Once again, it's about that fit. And if you don't know how well you complement, I would say, contact me through commandmentscoaching.com. Look at the ways that we can do an assessment It's pretty easy. You can do it online and it gives you a match, and we can talk through how well you match or if you need some help with it. That's what I'm here for. Number 16, you have a strong, similar sense of humor. It helps to laugh together, but it also helps to laugh together at the same things. Number 17, you have a strong sense of loyalty to each other. Loyalty means commitment, and commitment to the relationship, to building the relationship, to fixing the relationship, to enjoying the relationship. Number 18, you have similar communication styles. Now, this one you do not see very often. People usually come, when you look at different lenses from Enneagrams to love languages to personality types, usually you rarely get two peas in the pod. But if you're able to understand each other's communication styles, and if they are very different, you come to appreciate those differences. That's what we're looking at when we're talking about having similar communication styles. Number 19, you have a strong sense of admiration for the other. So in other words, when they make success, you go ahead and you become their biggest cheerleader. You get out your pom-poms and you really go ahead and exemplify what they've been able to achieve. You put it up to another level. Number 20, you can't imagine your life without them. And this holds true for into years and years of marriage. If you still continue to grow strong together through the good and the bad, you can't imagine your life without them. You can't imagine your life without being able to say, I want them right here next to me when I'm sick, when I'm well, when I can't walk anymore, when I can just share a hug with you. Once again, what we're looking at here, we're looking at how well y'all match together. And in today's culture, matching is way too much on the physical and not on this connection level of the relationship. And that's why I really try to help couples. Young couples where they're still into maybe 4, 6, 8, a year, 18 months into a relationship, not quite ready to take that next step of what it means to be married, and they really want to make sure that they fit, that this is the healthiest that they can be, and that they really do want what is possible. So once again, reach out. I'm here to help. I'm here to give you hope. I'm here to see how well y'all match together. So with that being said, God love y'all and have a wonderful week.